What's going on, fellow growers? Andrew from Tailwaggin Farms. This past weekend I was invited to be on a local gardening radio show. So here's our conversation on the Let's Get Growing show. It's about some seed starting stuff and just other random topics. So enjoy.
Thank you for listening to Let's Get Growing. My name is Lillian. I'm your garden guru this morning. And I've got a special guest, my friend. What's your name?
Andrew.
Andrew what? Can you spell that for us?
Absolutely not.
Oh, bummer. Okay. All right, so Andrew lives here. Andrew is a seed freak.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. He's also a pepper freak.
Absolutely.
When do you start your seeds? You start your seeds like early, like beginning of January. End of December?
We started some stuff actually around Thanksgiving for flowers, like Lysianthus, stuff like that.
Oh, sure.
But my peppers, my super hots, I started second week of January.
Why so early?
Peppers
do take a long time, though.
They're the Chinense variety, which take forever to bear fruit. So they grow a little slower, like 110 days to maturity. So getting a good kickstart on it will hopefully get me some harvest around July as opposed to September. So I can make more hot sauce.
You're going to be known as the pepper guy here at some point. Okay, good times. All right, so we are going to be talking all things seeds today, probably plants or specific planty type stuff. If you have a question, give me a call, give us a call. Okay, so on the agenda, loose agenda, of course, as always, we're going to be talking about seeds, so the different types of seeds, and we probably will fight a little bit about hybrid varieties versus heirloom. I feel like I'm going to win. A little bit.
Absolutely.
Heirloom, open pollinated, et cetera. So we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about seed starting, troubleshooting. You and Kim are pretty hardcore, and I mean, if I can't curse on the radio, but they're bad beep at seed starting. So we'll talk a little bit about those types of things. And then, of course, as I said, your questions. So, okay, let's get rolling. So first and foremost, though, I do need to do some PSAs. So February 1st, County Master Gardeners had a growing fruit in the South. So for those of you that went and listened to that talk or looked at that on Zoom, was pretty cool. They talked about blueberries, pecans, brambles, elderberries, figs, muscadines, pomegranate, strawberries. Usually they post that up on YouTube. I don't know that they have that up yet, but it should be posted soon. If you want to watch the recap of that, mastergardenerscountync.org. The next class is going to be March 7th, replacing invasive plants with native plants for a more beautiful, nature-friendly garden. This I like. So there's a lot of those groups on Facebook and things that somebody posted the other day. What do they want? They wanted I don't even
Hopefully
remember.
not the dreaded Bradford pear.
No, it wasn't. Oh my gosh! Don't get me started on Bradford pear. You like the Bradford pear?
Well, it saved my house, but
It did save your house.
Also, I mean, it's fun to graft stuff on too.
What have you grafted onto your Bradford pear?
I've attempted to graft a couple of fruiting pears on there, and they kind of took.
Did it? Have you gotten fruit yet?
Not yet, but.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well
Yeah.
that is a little bit of a different take. And so, sure, okay, you can absolutely do something like that, and it will potentially allow for the cross-pollination between other pears, but ew, it's just a terrible, disgusting.
It smells bad, it spreads everywhere,
It's
it's
so gross.
thorny. But
It is so gross. It is so gross. I don't like it. Anyway, so somebody was asking for, I don't remember what it was, but some type of invasive vine, and was saying how beautiful it was, blah, 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 blah. And I may or may not have freaked out a little bit online and posted all sorts of things about how invasives are terrible and there are alternatives to those. So that class should be really good. I've gotten up on my soapbox about invasives many, many times on this show.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I've experienced that just in your everyday life.
No, there's that too.
Random people next to a tree, and you just getting mad.
Yeah, I mean, look, it happens.
That's okay.
It's okay.
Understandable.
Yeah, but invasives.
We all have our passions.
Invasives really, really bother me. So I'm glad that they're doing that. Should be great. April 4th, growing the squash family. Erin Moore is going to be hosting that class. Erin Moore is the extension agent down at the Ag Center that does like fruits and small farms and those things. Aaron is really cool and a really, really nice guy. So he's also helping the new farming program it's farming program, ag program, something adjacent and they're actually setting up a station at the Ag Center too for all of their research projects.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So all this stuff, since I'm working that weekend, they put this stuff online on YouTube afterwards for the most part?
Yes, everything is on YouTube. You also have posted some stuff on YouTube lately as well around seed starting. And what's the latest thing that you're going to be doing?
I edited a video last night on laying out a brand new garden.
That's cool. That's cool.
So
That's
all the
very cool.
little tips and tricks that I wish I would have known 12 years ago before I screwed up.
And that
But
is
it's
why
okay.
we're here to
We're
talk
learning.
about things, right? We confess our sins here on this program, and it's that do as I say, don't do as I did, or do, right? So, yes, awesome. Okay. So May the 2nd, growing, using, and drying herbs. That is in person or either or on Zoom as well. And then June 6th, preventing pest disease in the home, landscape, and garden. So that one should be cool as well. So again, don't plant things that are going to attract the nasty little buggers, please. Something else that is happening at the end of the month, actually I think it is March the 2nd or March the 1st, whatever that Saturday is. I don't even know because there's not a calendar here. That is when the county the Master Gardener's tree sale is going to be held. Usually it's second to third weekend in March. Okay, March 2nd, thank you. In February. It has now been pushed to March 2nd. So lots of great things should be available there. They usually have tons and tons and tons of bare trees, lots of blueberries.
My blueberries I got 2 years ago from there are gangbusters in my yard. I love it. The Ira variety.
Yes.
So good.
Ira are great. This year they ordered something like 25 different varieties of apple.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of apple, like different unique apple varieties, because they ordered it from a heritage apple farm, actually somewhere local-ish to here as well. So that should be really cool. I don't know if the apples have come in yet, but as soon as they do, I'm going to check them out. There's a huge long list that they went through as far as what they were going to bring in, and there's some really unique varieties.
I'm definitely going to have to look into that because the apples that you can buy at big stores don't really do great around here. There are a lot of times varieties that just don't have the chill hours for.
No, I planted a gala. It was probably, when did I plant that thing? I planted it, pandemic year. So what was that, 2020? Yeah, 2020. I planted that in 2020. Nothing. Absolutely nothing from it.
I got you beat. I got one from 2012 out there, and it had like one little apple on it last year, but it's just ravaged with fire blight. But the flowers are so pretty in the spring that I don't have the heart to cut it down, even though it's kind of shading my pomegranate. And
At least
I
you
put
get
a bunch of
flowers.
grapevines over there now too. So
What kind of grapes did you get? What kind of grapes did you get?
I got 5 different varieties of like muscadine scuppernong.
Like what? Do you remember? Do you remember their names? I'm putting you on the spot here. Isons are great.
Sugargate.
So you ordered from Isons.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes. Okay, so
Black
for those of you that
Beauty.
do not know, Isons is like the premier place for muscadines. Awesome source for them. So what did you say?
Isons. Fry seedless.
Well, that's a good one.
Late fry.
Those are the little ones, right?
They're a little bigger.
Little-ish?
Yeah,
Okay.
but they're
Medium?
super late, so
Yeah,
I can extend my harvest. Black Beauty and Sugargate. So
Sugargate's a newer variety.
I think so, and it's said to have pretty much the highest sugar content of all of them. And
What are you gonna make?
now I got my steam juicer, so
Yeah.
making jelly and juice is super easy. I still have like 8 pint jars of juice from the grapes you were so nice to give me last year. So
Nice. I have no idea what I have. I just have like a bunch of different varieties, and they're lovely. But my favorite ones are the smaller ones that I have down at like the bottom in the corner. I don't know what they are, but they're fantastic, and I love them. Anyway, okay, well that's cool. Well, that's really fun. All right, good times. Okay, so that is happening. I'm trying to think of what else they're gonna have peaches too this year too, as
Oh.
well. I think last year they did not have peaches, but there are gonna be several different varieties of peach that will do well down here. Now, when I say about peaches, you're gonna do a whole lot of praying and a whole lot of spraying, right?
Yep. Get a variety that flowers late nowadays.
You have to do that. A variety that flowers late. It's better to have two, right? But yeah, so that should be good.
Any figs?
No.
No figs? Okay.
Against my opinion.
Okay.
But we will have figs in the spring, but not many figs for this sale.
Okay.
So it's okay. It's okay.
That's all right. It's a little early in the year for figs.
Look, no. It's also we usually have. I say we. The master gardeners usually have an abundance of figs and fig varieties. I think the feeling was take a little figgy break.
Okay.
So it's okay. It's all good.
I love my Italian honey fig that I got from you 2 years ago. That sucker's about waist high now, and it's got a growth spurt coming this year. So
Have you gotten any figs from it?
not yet.
Okay.
And my Chicago Hardy, I should hopefully get a fig this year, at least one, that I got from you guys a couple years ago.
Your fig trees that you gave me are actually still alive.
Wow.
Because normally I kill figs or my dogs eat them.
Okay.
I've told you about my dogs eating.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my dogs like to eat everything. But they seem to particularly love figs, so I don't know why. So they're still alive and they're doing wonderful. And
Okay.
I'm very excited. So hopefully I will have some at some point. I also still have that one in the corner that has never given me anything.
Okay.
And I do need to do a soil test to determine why.
Yeah.
I think it just hates me.
Okay.
I think that's the reason why it has not given me anything. But I also think that sun is an issue over there. And
Okay.
there are a multitude of problems, but it's too big now. I can't move it. I should have moved it a couple years ago. It's fine, so we'll figure it out.
I mean, figs root so
I
easily.
know.
You could just
I know. And that
either
is
bury a branch and then just move that branch over, and you'll have a nice new tree in 6 months with how they grow around here.
very true. So you could bury it, or have you tried the rock trick?
The rock trick.
Yes.
Just put a rock on a
You
branch.
literally just put a rock on the branch and just leave it alone.
I mean, I was just doing some pruning on mine the other day, and where all the leaves blew around there,
Mm-hmm.
it rooted in those leaves.
Yes.
So I was like, I don't know what to do with all these, but it went to the wood chipper, unfortunately.
It's
But-
okay. Well, that is the other reason why I have a lot of roses all around, is because of Helen.
Oh yeah, yeah. We tried her method this year in the hoop house, actually.
Did it work? We don't know yet.
Seems like they might. I mean, we did our
You
rose
don't, even need
pruning.
to, you don't even need to put them in the hoop house. You should
No.
just leave them outside.
Well, we just jammed them in a corner of the hoop house.
Yeah.
Just to see what would happen, and yeah. It
Are they
seems
still
like summer
Are they
rooting.
still green?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna start to get leaves. That's awesome. That is totally awesome. That's really exciting.
Awesome. Just what we need, more roses.
Look, roses are wonderful. Roses have their challenges, but they are wonderful, and I love them.
Challenges is an understatement for roses around here.
Yeah, they do.
They love their black spot.
They
more than they love their
black.
flowers.
They love their black spot. They love their black spot. I ate black spot. And they love it. Yes, you're absolutely right. It's okay. I mean, again, it's for the beauty of roses, right? Speaking of which, have you noticed, especially in the spring and summer months, coming down through here? I don't know if you come down here through here often, but all of the roses with rose rosette in downtown.
I have not noticed that.
Downtown has been ravaged. It is so bad. It is so bad. So that is another PSA, folks. I also go on my tangents about this. I'm gonna try not to. So rose rosette, I've talked about this in the past. It's also called witch's broom. It's got a lot of different names, but anyway, long story short, your roses, the new growth that comes out, will look very, very, very thorny and very, very, very red, usually. Similar to a witch's broom, which is why it's called witch's broom. If you're not sure, right? If you're not sure what's going on, if you think, maybe that looks a little strange, take a picture, call your local extension agent, i.e. Debbie, or whoever is, at the Ag Center. Send them the picture and they can help identify what you have going on. County Master Gardeners also has a grow line as well. You can send a picture or give them a call and they will help you identify as to what's going on. Rose rosette, there's no cure. Zero. they're working on a cure, but there still is yet to be a cure. In the past, what they said was for rose rosette, you have to dig everything, every little piece out. Of course, take said infected plant, dump it into a black trash bag, throw everything away, make sure that you disinfect everything that you've used because it spreads very easily. But I was talking with David Pike, who is the owner of Witherspoon Rose Culture down.
Okay.
They've got a couple of different shops around the area, and he was saying actually you can replant roses in that spot.
Okay, well that's good to know.
I didn't know that, and I still feel weird about it. I don't necessarily recommend it because the trick is you have to get every little last piece, and you have to make sure that you get all of the mulch that was around said plant. You have to make sure that you take up most of the soil as well. It seems like a lot and very risky. So,
Yeah.
but you can replant.
It's spread by a virus, and that's
Little mites,
yeah.
little teeny tiny little mites that you can't even see.
I just looked at a picture of it, and it is the stuff of nightmares. If you have to go out there and prune, that is terrifying looking.
Terrifying. Terrifying. Like you take one look at an infected plant and you're like, oh my gosh, what is going on? It has mutated. It is a freak of nature. What is going on? I have seen and heard of folks just going in and just trying to prune it off. You can, but unfortunately the plant is probably pretty darn infected. And it will absolutely spread to your other roses that you have in and around your yard. If you have neighbors that are close by, it will also spread to them, which then it just destroys everything, which is awful. So again, rose rosette is a big thing in actually down at there's a shopping plaza, big shopping plaza that's got a whole bunch of big box stores used, and it's all over there too. There's even a big box store that sells plants and things that has a big garden center and also sells roses over there.
I was just going to say, I was like, that's going to be wonderful for spreading it. I mean, I'm sure there's roses that they're selling, and then the mites, and then let's spread it around everywhere, I guess.
I will never buy roses from that area. And I'm not going to say what store that is, but because I can't, but still, I will not ever buy roses from over there. There's also another garden center that's not far from there as well. It's like more upscale, if you will.
Okay.
You know which one I'm talking about?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. But
I've had nothing but bad luck with their plants, but...
Really? Huh. What have you bought that you've had bad luck with?
Just fruit stuff.
Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's okay. That's when you should be going and buying fruit stuff from the master gardeners.
I
learned
my lesson.
From a source that only buys plants or only brings in plants or only grows plants that are of the southern variety that does well here. So I'm just saying.
That would be a great segue later into the seed stuff.
Yes, we do need to talk about...
I am very adamant about that.
Okay, let's go. Let's start talking about seed stuff. Okay, so here's the debate. So there's open pollinated. There is hybrid varieties. There's heirloom, which is not. It's just an open pollinated version, right? An heirloom is basically, it's an old variety that has been passed down. That is the definition of heirloom for those people that are confused between the difference between open pollinated and whatever else. So heirloom is not a specific, it's not a way in which this.
It's kind of like if you label something all natural.
Right, yes, completely.
Some people say 50 years, some people say 100 years.
Yeah.
It's just a kind of a made up term for a fancy open pollinated.
So Seed Savers says 50 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Seed Savers has just drawn the line and they're like 50 years. Passed down, has a story. That is Seed Savers' definition and their statement. And so I'm going to go with them because they're awesome. And also, that's what they do. They help to save the seed. Anyway, so you like your hybrid varieties.
Absolutely. I personally like to... I think it's better to have the increased vigor. I like the increased production. And for me, being down here, it's the disease resistance. I need that disease resistance in my plants. It's with squash. It's a perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
You try to grow a lot of different varieties of, say, zucchini.
Mm-hmm.
That sucker's going to die within 20 days of planting it out because of all the diseases that come through.
No,
That's
not within
why-
20 days of planting it. No, you were no.
Yes.
No.
Cucumber
No.
mosaic
No.
virus goes nuts on those things.
Oh, maybe by your house.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen at my house.
Well, lucky you.
But yes, you do have issues with like downy mildew and also blossom end rot on those suckers and all sorts of other things. But mosaic disease is that's in your soil, bud.
Oh, I know.
So that's why you're having issues with that.
Though with the varieties that I get, I still get a decent harvest out of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, look, yes, but you're absolutely right. So hybrid seeds, they're bred, specifically interbred to get the, best qualities of said plant, and then the seed companies will usually sell the F1 varieties. So any seed saved from said plant into the F2, you're not going to get the same plant. It'll likely revert back.
You can't save seeds.
You can't save seeds, right? You can't save seeds from it. You also have to check to make sure that it is not a patented plant as well.
Correct.
So that's a big thing too. Most people don't realize how many different plants and how many different plants are patented. So, like the Better Boy varieties still has a patent on it.
Yep.
You cannot save seed from that thing. You cannot distribute seed from that thing.
Nope.
It is a patented plant. Again, most people don't realize that. So anyway, so the varieties that you like, and you've given me starts from some of those F1 varieties, and I have to say, there was one that you gave me a couple years ago, and you probably still grow it now to this day. It was a tomato.
Yeah.
Juliet
tomatoes, you can't kill those things.
No. I was also
unreal.
getting tomatoes into, I think, October, November.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
It's unreal. That I had a Juliet vine that we grew in our hoop house last year using the lean and lower method. It was 40.
What is it? Wait, what is the lean and lower?
So.
Wait, no. Well, sorry.
Okay, I'll go back to it.
Yeah, we'll go back to that in a
But the vine
second.
ended up being 45 feet long by the end of the season.
That's too much. That's too much.
Well, with a lean
That's
and
too
lower
much.
method, what you do, you have a string running across the top of the hoop house,
Mhm.
and there's a hook up there with a string coiled on it.
Yeah.
So as the plant grows up, you use tomato clips. They're just clamp on, and you put the stem onto that, and as it reaches the top, you undo the hook, let out a little bit of string, move it down 4 or 5 feet, prune off all of the leaves up to waist high,
Mm-hmm.
and
You should be pruning your tomatoes anyway.
you can just have a tomato that grows indefinitely. So you just, as it gets taller, you let out more string, prune the leaves off, move it over, and it makes a racetrack pattern around the hoop house.
Oh, that's cute. You got a little racetrack in your
So
hoop house.
I had
that's convenient. Of
35.
course, you have a little racetrack in your hoop house.
Well, it's just in the 30-inch row,
Mm.
but we had 35 plants in there that were all over 30 feet long.
Oh my gosh.
But getting massive harvests I harvested my last tomatoes at the end of November.
Wow.
I had tomatoes on the counter at Christmas time that I'd harvested.
Okay. All right. That is impressive. That is very impressive. There are heirloom varieties that you can select out that will have an extended shelf life. So, like for example, the garden peach tomato. So the garden peach tomato is an heirloom variety. It can be found. You can get seeds for that through a lot of the various seed companies, especially here in the South. And that one is a really good long keep tomato.
Okay.
Very great long keep tomato, and it's delicious too. It is fantastic. It even has like some fuzz on the outside,
Oh.
which is why it's called the garden peach.
Oh.
It's a fuzzy yellow tomato, and it is wonderful and lovely.
You being an okra lover must love that little bit of fuzz on it.
No, I mean it doesn't. It doesn't. I mean it's just like a teeny tiny little bit of
Okay.
fuzz, which is why it's called the garden peach. But anyway, so that's a great long keep tomato. It also will produce well into the fall, and it will withstand a little bit of frost too.
Okay.
So I also with that variety, I haven't had many issues with disease on that, but I think it's because I have selected my plants that I'm saving seed from. So
Okay.
again, I look to see, okay, who's doing the best, right? Who's getting what kind of issues, disease, whatever, and those generally come out. And the ones that just seem to be doing pretty well, I'll save a tomato or two back. I'll keep the seeds, and then I'll start over the next year. Or I'll give the seeds to someone I know, and I'll ask for them to save the seeds and select from there. So that's, again, the other reason why I prefer the open pollinated or, heirloom varieties, because I can save seed. I know for the most part, depending on what it is, it will come true or similar to, as long as, you distance enough, spread them out, depending on what it is. Tomatoes, they're not very promiscuous, so it's fine. We gotta take a break. All right, we gotta take a break really quickly. When we come back, we're gonna still talk about seedy stuff. And of course, if you have a question, give us a call back. Thanks for listening to Let's Get Growing. My name is Lillian Malavides. I am your garden guru this morning. We're talking all things plant and garden related, but specifically we're talking seeds and then just other random stuff. Anyway, I have a friend with me this morning. His name is Andrew. Andrew, give them your name, your full name, please.
My name is Andrew.
And your coordinates to your home. I'm just kidding. I'm totally just kidding. Don't do that. No, you're not going to do that. You're not going to give out information about your specific farm that you have. However, I know that you have lately been doing gardening type classes online, if you will, for, the regular schmegular person or the novice, right? And you do have some really good seed starting and tips, as well as, garden planning tips and such, which is why you're here.
I appreciate
to talk about
it.
those things.
I love to share the knowledge.
You do, and hold on. Let's talk really quickly about your journey and how you got here.
Okay, so I always wanted to have a garden growing up, and I lived up north, and I think our lot was like 1/10 of an acre, and I remember going to my grandma's house, and she had cucumbers and tomato plants that she sold pickles at a farmer's market. And I always wanted to grow my own food. And when I moved down here, we started out with, the typical couple little containers on the back porch, a couple of tomatoes, cucumbers.
Yep.
And just the taste and that feeling of accomplishment when I harvested my tomatoes and those cucumbers, it was amazing.
Yeah.
And then, like I tend to do with all things, I went all in and tilled up a massive portion of my yard without knowing what I was doing.
Yes.
Forgot to put water out there.
It happens.
So we've eventually decided that we were going to start all our own seeds and grow probably 95% of our stuff from seeds.
Right.
It saved us money with the volume that we were doing, but now I grow pretty much, I have a little over an acre, and probably half of it's in production of some sort for me to eat, and or lots of flowers.
Tons of flowers.
The other half, she has over
tons
500 different varieties of flower seeds that she's doing this year.
What?
I'm growing over 200 different varieties of vegetables.
What?
I'm growing 75 pepper varieties.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to order more to kind of. I think I might want to get up to around 100 for the pepper varieties. It's a problem. Could have worse problems though.
You could absolutely have worse problems. As I say, you could be like hoarding animals or all sorts of other things. But yeah, seeds and plants, they're fine. Totally fine.
Our grocery bill, I'm probably not saving money with the amount that I grow, but my grocery bill in the summer is like $25.
But you also know where everything has come from.
Yep.
And you've done all the work yourself. So
yep.
To your point, sense of accomplishment. That's amazing. So why so many peppers?
I started falling in love with peppers. I'm from Buffalo, New York, and you're basically raised on hot sauce. They put it in your milk as you're a baby. But I started getting into fermenting my own peppers and making my own hot sauce, and just the different varieties that you would never expect that were out there. The ahi limos and
those are delicious.
They're just so citrusy.
They are so good. They're so good.
And there's just so many different varieties, and the pepper community is pretty neat to see how everybody shares all of their stuff, with the exception of the guy in Rock Hill. But It's
No, he doesn't. He's looking to make money off of those
oh
suckers.
yeah, but it's
And I'm pretty sure that he also may have patented some of his as well.
he patented most of his stuff.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, that's a big whole another.
It's
thing
a
in the
big
pepper
controversy. We'll probably talk about patented seeds here in a little while, but yes, patenting seeds is, in my opinion,
community.
kind of selfish, but
Yeah.
it's okay. I mean, look,
I understand that he did the work.
yes,
Make your money.
and also too with those, right? So breeders, hybridizers spend years and years and years working on producing, stabilizing, selecting, so on and so forth.
I mean, they even have bounties out for certain stuff. I think it was a Burpee that had like $1 million bounty for if you got a pure white marigold. They were willing to pay like $1 million for that seed.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, absolutely. So the top 3 seed companies, you want to guess who they are?
Top 3.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Burpee's probably one of them.
Burpee is owned by Bear,
Yeah.
who also is adjacent to, and there's a big company that has a very, very, very big stake in that company.
I mean Monsanto used to.
Yeah,
be,
huh?
Well, that.
Ding ding ding
Then
ding
Bayer
ding ding
used to
ding.
be Monsanto used to be Bayer, and I've seen their location at the airport in Ankeny, Iowa.
Buddy, they're all still so related,
Oh,
and
yeah.
there's so much inbreeding, if you will, amongst those. So Monsanto, DuPont, Syngenta. So all 3 of those companies, they all get together.
Oh yeah.
And they all call truces, if you will. And
What do you mean, collusion?
no, not collusion. No. So yeah, they're the top 3 seed companies. They control 65% of the proprietary corn maize market in the world.
The powers that be. I swear I don't agree with her opinion on this. Please don't come find me.
Yes. No. It's okay. But I will say this, right? So, the commercial farmers, of course,
Yes.
need and rely on seeds from said companies. You can't go out and buy the seeds just as a regular person.
Nope.
From these companies, you're required to sign a contract, an agreement that you will not take and reproduce. Like it's a whole big thing. But anyway, so
You might call it a racket.
and again, it's okay. And
It's all right.
and you know they do what they have to do. But so some of the, and we were talking about seeds and patents and things that you can save, things that you can't save. Let me see if I can find the. Okay, all right. So tomato varieties that are patented. All right, Albright, which I don't see Albright many places. I don't think I've ever seen the Albright,
No.
but that has several patents on it. Better Boy. So a lot of people around here grow Better Boys, Better Boy Plus, and Big Beef tomatoes, Big Beef varieties, so Big Beef Plus as well. Those have been patented for ever and a half, and I think they're going to remain on patent at least for another handful of years. Burpee's Big Boy.
Some of those should be falling into public domain eventually. I mean, they've been around for
They should.
Depression era stuff.
They should, but they are still very, very much so under patent. Celebrity, Celebrity Plus, so all those varieties.
Pretty much everything you'd see at a big box store.
Yes, generally
Is-
speaking, yes. Cupid, Cypress, I don't know those varieties. I'm assuming that those are probably more so for up north, is my guess. Dixie Red, I haven't seen those yet. Let's see what else. Everglade, I'm assuming the Everglade is for our southern friends. Look at all these, man. Equiport, don't know that one. Health Kick, all right. Husky Red tomato. Journey, Lemon Boys we see all the time too. So there are a lot, so many varieties on here. I didn't even count. I probably should have taken this, dropped it into a spreadsheet just to tabulate all of these tomatoes. And this is just one company.
Yep.
This is just one single company that has patented all of these tomatoes, and there's probably at minimum on this list, I would say 120. because this is a long, long list, and it's still going, and I'm scrolling, and I'm
Oh,
scrolling,
it
and
just
I'm
keeps
scrolling.
going.
Yeah, yeah. And that, again, these are just tomatoes alone. So if you were to grow one of these varieties, you get the most delicious tomato out of said plant. It has great disease resistance, everything else. Guess what? You cannot do anything about that. Absolutely nothing. At the end of the season, you have to throw away all your plant material, or you can save the plant material if you want and continue to produce from said plant. But you cannot hybridize from that plant. You cannot save seeds from that plant.
I
Yeah.
don't want the garden cops coming down on you.
But they will.
Oh yeah.
They absolutely
Oh,
will.
yeah.
You know, so when County Master Gardeners have their sales, right? So they take in donations from other master gardeners, from, you know, just the general public as well. And there's a lot of time spent on making sure that the plants that have been donated are not patented.
Oh wow.
If it has been patented, they chuck it. They chuck it immediately.
Yeah, those big companies, they hire a lot of really good lawyers, and
They do.
and
They will find you.
Oh yeah, they'll find you. And
They will find you. Just like when people were posting online, you know, like on I don't know, TikToks and everything else, when they were using music that's licensed.
oh yeah.
Those companies, there are individuals that go and specifically search for that. That is their job, to find people that are misusing or using their property, if you will. So anyway, so that's
As somebody who has a YouTube, I understand that, and it is
Mhm.
very, very difficult to find music that has not been licensed.
correct.
Open
Yes.
source music is tough.
Open source music is very tough. Now, as far as open source seeds are concerned, so there is a open source seed alliance. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I do.
Okay. Yeah. So those guys, the guys in the open source seed alliance, they're really cool people. Like, awesome, fantastic people. Care about the environment, care about other people, care about seed access, and just access to you know, food and things in general. So if you buy a seed packet, or if you're shopping through some of these different seed companies, if you see OSSI printed on any of those packs, it means that it has the Open Seed Pledge. And so I'm just going to read this really quickly. So the Open Source Seed Pledge is intended to ensure that your freedom to use seed contained therein in any way you choose. But of course, you have to pledge that if you transfer the seeds or the derivatives, you will acknowledge the source of the seeds and the company you transfer with this pledge. So basically it's saying, look, we've done the work. We've absolutely done the work, and it's cool if you take this and you use it, you give it to your friends, you know, hybridize with it, you do whatever you want to do, but just make sure that you say and give me the cred for using my genetics. I think that's awesome.
I actually just bought some tomato seeds from a open source group that they breed dwarf tomatoes that produce full size tomatoes.
I know those guys. So Craig the Tomato Man up in like the Asheville area, he's awesome. By the way, he's helped me troubleshoot so many seed starting issues. So many. But yeah, I love the dwarf tomato project. It was and is an awesome, awesome, awesome project.
It's great for people that don't have a bunch of space to grow. You can.
And even if you do have a bunch of space to grow, you don't have to deal with, you know, putting up the crazy vines and doing everything else. That's why I love dwarf tomatoes. It is less commitment, less time, and you don't have like all the crazy like and trying to weave through all of the, you know, jungly stuff. You like the jungly stuff.
I'm gonna try growing determinants this year as well as indeterminates. So gotta.
Some of the varieties that they have are awesome. In fact, I don't know that I even brought any of them. I probably didn't, but I have and received a bunch of dwarf tomato seeds from
Okay.
those guys. Just like random stuff they send me every once in a while. They're like, hey, try this. Hey, this one's really cool. Hey, this one tastes fantastic.
I throw them in my arrow garden too, so I can grow tomatoes in the wintertime.
Which is also, okay, so your arrow garden, where do you keep that?
Well, we have a couple different types of indoor hydroponics
Of course you do.
setups.
You guys are still doing
People-
hydroponics?
Kind of. People have given them as gifts, or I see
sure.
them on Black Friday deals and buy
Nice,
stuff.
nice.
But I have a AeroGarden Farm, the big one.
Yeah.
right next to our front door.
Amazing.
And it's
So
nice.
like a little snack on the way out.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
It's they're great for herbs and stuff like that
They are.
for people that don't have a bunch of space.
They are.
It's
They very much so.
leafy greens like lettuce. I've been eating salads every couple days off of that thing.
That's awesome. That is really, really cool. So yes. All right. So back to seeds and back to hybrid versus non versus heirloom versus open pollinated, etc. So you prefer the hybrids because you like the stability, you like the disease resistance, everything else. Is there anything that you dislike about hybrids? And you're not really a seed saver per se, right?
I'm not really a seed saver, just because
And that's okay.
out of convenience for me, it's easier with the amount of seeds that I grow and
You
the varieties that I grow.
Grow a massive amount of stuff, yes.
So I mean, we have photo containers to store our seeds, and we have 5 of those that are completely full of seeds. So we don't really save any seeds other than like with some flower stuff. We'll take seed heads in the fall and just scatter them everywhere. But
That's cool.
for the amount of canning and preserving that I do, I need to have that more of a guaranteed harvest. And I just need to be able to plan on that. I'm not quite growing this as much as a hobby as it's a pretty big food source for me.
Oh, big time.
So it's in the summertime, about 75% of what I eat comes from my backyard.
That's
In the
awesome.
wintertime, right now, it's still about 50%.
That's incredible. Most people cannot say that. Can't even come close to that. So that's a big deal.
Yes.
It's a big deal, especially for a guy that only consumes vegetables.
Yeah.
So there's that as well. Okay, so now as far as like open pollinated type seeds and plants, do you like any of those? Are you against those?
I'm not against them. A lot of the peppers are open pollinated type stuff.
They are, yeah.
Because everybody hybridizes to make their own varieties.
They do.
I'm not against them per se, but I don't want to rely on them for the staples that I use in the stuff that I can. Just because I need to have that guarantee for harvest. For some stuff, I like it. I mean, I would like to get with you about some okra this year. I'd like to grow some, and I know how
Stop
you are,
it!
but
Stop it! Stop it! Oh my gosh, do I have this is some of the coolest stuff right now too.
well, we'll
I've
get
got some of
together
the
on
coolest stuff.
that.
Such cool stuff. Okay. Yes. Okra's amazing, by the way. Yeah, I know that you don't like it.
I'm gonna try it.
It's
I like it.
No, I mean it serves its purpose and it's good for certain things. You don't like the slime.
I'm not a slime fan.
Okay, so
Ever
I've got
since you
some-
made me eat a pod fresh out of the garden, I threw up.
Your face was epic. Yeah, I think that was the first year that we were growing okra too.
Yeah, and like, here, try
It's like-
this. Take a bite. So gross.
You didn't
Scarred.
spit it out though.
No, I chewed and swallowed.
That was so funny, freaking face. Oh my god, that was epic. Yeah, so I mean, the thing that I like about the open pollinated heirloom varieties, especially the ones that I specifically save, we talked about this earlier, but I appreciate the selection process.
Yeah.
And knowing that, hey, this survived a crazy drought, and if I have another crazy drought next year, maybe this will work out for me. I have a lot of friends that are in the industry, if you will, that either have seed companies or do research on stuff like that, and that's all they work with and work on. And they have stabilized some really, really cool varieties. So I was telling you about my friend up in Virginia that has this squash project.
Yes.
I mean, and some of the squash that he has produced and now has available is stuff that is resistant to downy mildew, really great and productive in drought. There's a watermelon variety too. Same thing, that's fantastic for first-time growers. You cannot screw up growing this watermelon.
Well, that's fantastic because watermelon can be tough.
Very tough. If you don't get the right amount of water, if you don't give it the right amount of nutrients, if you don't give it the right amount, if you just look at it wrong.
Yes.
Right?
It's like a rose.
Yes, correct. It's like a rose. If you look at it wrong, if you look at it sideways, it's gonna. Also, turkeys do that too.
Oh.
You have not raised turkeys.
No. Yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah, turkeys.
Focus, Lily. No,
I'm sorry.
Squirrel.
Sorry. Yeah, squirrel. Anyway, so again, that's part of the reason why the open pollinated are near and dear to my heart, because I appreciate the fact that most of the growers that make them available in the marketplace have done some of that stabilization work.
Okay.
Now, that said, right, there are still heirloom open pollinated varieties out there that just, like, they're gonna die.
Hubbard squash, blue Hubbard squash.
Correct. That is
Plant that as a trap crop. That's the only use around here.
You are
Plant it
100%
as far
correct.
away from stuff you want to live.
Yes, you are 100% correct. I've had issues with, also.
All the vine borers will go get.
Oh my gosh, yeah, so bad. But like zucchini and summer squash, right? The common varieties that you see, also just in the big box stores. Growing on the.
I'm going to say something controversial here.
Please go.
Do not buy varieties of zucchini. Don't buy seedlings from big box stores for stuff in that family. Don't buy squash seedlings. Don't buy cucumber seedlings.
You don't need to.
The stuff that you see at the big box store is a 3-day-old seedling. Go inside and buy yourself a packet of seeds, or go to one of the reputable seed companies that can provide stuff. I don't know if we're allowed to say brands.
No, we can say rhymes with.
Maker Beaks.
Okay, yeah.
Is a great place that has free shipping.
Yes. Oh my gosh, they just hooked me up. So I'm starting a seed library, and they hooked me up with a humongous care package.
Oh, that's awesome.
To start the seed library. I love that company.
Yeah, go.
Seed Savers did that too.
Go online and look. And if you're gonna grow something, if you want to grow a squash or a zucchini or a cucumber, go find a company that the Seed Savers, stuff like that, that have varieties, and just buy the seeds. It's way cheaper. You could buy an entire packet of seeds for less than the cost of one plant from those stores.
And they're very easy to start too.
They're super easy to start. You just throw them in the ground, they pop up, and they're there. Wait till around here, second week of April.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say it's usually right around tax time is the best time to actually put stuff in the ground. Is calendar, right? That's how I determine things. So Valentine's Day is usually my marker for when I start my tomatoes and things like that, and then stuff I put in the ground is usually after tax day. For me, anyway.
Okay, so what we typically do is, our way to keep organized is we use a calendar. And we write down our last frost date, and then we go count backwards in weeks.
Sure.
And then, because we have so many different varieties of stuff, we have to have a large print calendar to do this.
Oh my
but
gosh.
we count back 4 weeks, list all of the stuff that we need to start. Go back 6 weeks, list everything that we need to start. And with the amount of stuff, we have room for 20 trays now under lights inside.
Holy cow.
So
20, how many cells?
10, 20 trays, full flats.
Okay. Holy cow.
Yeah, things are getting serious.
That's
this
intense.
Year. Yeah.
Okay, so what is...
I just had to buy more plastic.
Bro, more power to you. That's amazing. So
We have 90 trays that we can use out in the 90, 10, 20 trays that we can have between the greenhouse, the hoop house, and under lights.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot. Okay.
You're gonna have to come to the house and get some plants and help us plant stuff, please.
Yeah, seriously. Okay. So of all of the different seeds and such that you guys have started over the years, what has been the most challenging? Are there particular varieties that were really tough for you in the beginning and now you feel like you're awesome, or something that just consistently gives you guys a hard time?
I mean, other than the errant seed packet that is dud,
right.
My habaneros this year I've tried to start 12 different seeds and nothing has started.
Peppers were really terrible last year to start for most people.
Peppers initially they were very tough for me to start.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I've learned, how to use a heat mat.
Heat is very, very important.
85, keep it at 85 degrees and have a humidity dome on it. I get 90+% germination rate on peppers.
How quickly do they come up for you when you do that?
It depends on the company I get seeds from.
Yeah.
I just got there's a place in Mojica Pepper Hut that I just bought seeds from that's a hybridizer.
Oh, cool.
His seeds came up within 3 days for super hot. Super hots can take anywhere up to a month to come up.
I know.
So they just
and then
pop
you think
right
they're
on
dead, and then all of a sudden they're like, boom. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was just about to throw you away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's peppers have become a lot easier to start. It's just everything needs its. You got to, if you're starting seeds inside, you have to try to do everything to your advantage. So make sure you use a good seed starting mix. Some people.
That is hugely important.
Some people on YouTube are like, you could just use potting soil, all this stuff.
No.
No, or use your garden soil. No.
No, do not use your garden soil.
You're introducing pathogens. We need to get these things off to a good start, and then we can start messing with them. But yeah, it's got to have a decent set of lights possibly, or a very sunny window. You're looking for, you got to give everything 12 to 14 hours of sunlight a day.
Yes.
Or light a day to get them to grow. But
And even light as well. Because
Even
once
light.
you get those seedlings popping up, they'll start to get leggy as they're reaching towards the light if you don't have the even light.
in the watering,
Watering's huge.
you can't water too much
Nope.
because everything damp off and die.
Mhm.
It looks like they pinch off and then they fall over.
Yep.
Happens to everyone.
Yep. Sure does.
Or if you don't water them enough, they wither and die. So it's kind of
You look at them sideways, they might wither and die as well. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and
Just saying.
and ventilation. Have a fan on wherever you're starting your seeds. You want a little bit of air movement in there because it keeps the top of the soil dry, and also that little bit of movement creates a stronger stem.
Which is why there are fans in greenhouses as well. That
Yep.
is another reason why airflow is super duper duper important. And you're right, most people don't consider the airflow piece. Most
Yep.
people are just taking those, seed trays that you can, again, buy in the big box stores. You can buy them online everywhere. They're actually pretty cheap anymore. They did not used to be cheap. They're pretty darn cheap anymore.
As far as plastic goes, I'm a big proponent of this.
Mm-hmm.
Buy quality plastic.
Right.
Because there's some stuff that you buy, if you can bend the tray and it
Mhm.
crinkles a little bit,
Mhm.
do not buy that.
Mm-hmm.
You want to buy something that's harder plastic, that's easier to clean, because then you can reuse it year after year.
Yes, it will last longer, 100%.
And you're not going to be throwing it out after a year. If you leave it out in the sun, it's not going to turn into a
Orange and shrink
paper
up and shrivel and
yeah, and it just gets all frayed.
Mhm.
Yeah, spend the money on good seed starting equipment if you can.
and seed starting soil is also a big thing. So last year, for the nonprofit that I volunteer with, we did, I and Sonia too, we did kind of a little bit of an experiment between different types of seed starting mediums. So, we went through it and we were having some big challenges last year in our greenhouse starting stuff. But we had pest problems. So like little lizards would come up and they would literally dig through our trays and would eat stuff. All the way to, just random stuff. But anyway, so we tried vermiculite. Don't recommend.
No.
Don't do that. It's terrible. Don't use it.
It holds too much moisture.
Well,
It's weird.
yeah, it's so weird.
It's okay to sprinkle on top of stuff like a snapdragon, stuff like that.
Sure, maybe, but just sprinkle a little bit. I am not a fan. I do not like it. I didn't like it. It was, to your point, you couldn't figure out the moisture piece. Stuff wasn't coming out. I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
We tried a couple of different, seed starters, and guess what won out? You want to guess?
Is it what my favorite is?
Yes.
It's the Pro Mix.
Yeah, Pro Mix. Pro Mix totally won. Totally won out. It beat everything by a mile. And you're the one that actually introduced me to Pro Mix.
I bought
and
2
convinced
bales.
me. Yeah. right. And
And 120 pounds of it.
I've only got one right now, but that stuff is amazing and it's quality and it's sterile and it's fantastic. So
And I found a place that you can go buy it now, local
no.
in Charlotte. But yeah.
Okay, we'll talk after this.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we're coming up to 9:00. We didn't even get to half of the stuff that we intended to, but that's okay.
I'm on
It's
for the
fine.
next couple weeks.
Yeah, you're probably just gonna have to come back and hang out. So big thing right now, seed starting time. So you can begin to start your tomatoes for the average gardener. I know that you've already started yours, but
I haven't started my tomatoes yet.
What?
I'm waiting another week and a half.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
You've
8
shown
weeks
some
out.
restraint this year. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 8 weeks out for tomatoes.
Yes, correct. So
7 to 8 weeks.
normally,
Start your brassicas now, though. Get your kale started.
Yes, if you're a kale person, if you are into, well, you could, broccoli actually should be in the ground now. It should.
I've had nothing but issues when it's in the ground this early in the year.
I haven't, but it's fine. You can have issues. I have not had issues.
Well,
but
I will bring my broccoli outside then, or half of it.
Definitely do it. Try it. But and also sometimes they benefit from a little bit of frost depending on the variety that you have. So I'm just saying. But yes, so tomatoes, peppers. You can begin starting here in a couple of weeks. Flowers, depending on the type of flower, probably should have already started that a while ago. Depending on what it is.
Depends on the varieties.
Yes. But anyway, so check out your seed catalogs. Look and see what they have to offer. Do not forget that County Master Gardeners have their plant sale March the 2nd, so there will be some starts, but mostly it's going to be trees and fruits and such. And I think Sandy's here next week, so I'm sure she'll be talking about seeds or something else. Anyway, thanks for listening to Let's Get Growing. I don't know where Chris is right now, so we're just gonna hang out for a little while. I'm kidding. I'm totally just kidding. Yeah, so this was fun. You're definitely gonna have to come back and
I've had
hang out
fun.
with us.
It's
Cool. Good times. And then your next video that you're gonna be posting is gonna be on.
There should be one out later today, and then I'm gonna do a couple more on how to choose plants for your garden.
Love it.
And planting with space constraints, and
Love it.
how to plan on what to grow so you'll actually eat it.
Good. Awesome. Well, thanks for listening to Let's Get Growing. My name is Lillian Melamides, if I can speak. And adios.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, fellow growers, thanks for coming out today. Hope you enjoyed my conversation with Lily on the Let's Get Growing show, and hope to see you next time at Tailwaggin Farms. Like, subscribe, and any questions, down in the comments. Have a good day and happy growing.